So, it's no secret that Duet had its fair share of problems when it launched almost 2 months ago, but this hasn't stopped the developers from delivering a ton of new content with the 1.1 version update. Still, the big question is it enough? Well, that's what I'm gonna try and answer in this video. Full disclosure though, this video is sponsored by the DNA team, although they have given me a full freedom to basically just share my first impressions, which I'm always happy to hear. Anyway, I have been playing DNA ever since its first beta test, and one thing that always struck me was the zones are really small when it comes to exploration. I mean, sure, the game isn't marketing itself as open world, but after completing all the quests, all you're really left with usually is just grinding inside the instances. Technically, you could say this for any anime open world game, but frankly, for DNA, this was especially true. However, this new version introduces a brand new region, Huashu, and the first major zone is called Mist Wharf. And I gotta say, this whole area feels super massive compared to everything else in the game. And I'm counting every area from the start of 1.0 launch. That's how big it feels. Not only that, there's few more cool places you can unlock. Plus, I was inside this instance during the quest called Oblivion Rift, and it also took a good while to complete it. Also, the environment design feels simply superior compared to 1.0 areas, from open fields to magical forests to these beautiful Eastern-style areas. All of it looks great. I'd say if recently you've played games like Ghost of Yotei or Where Winds Meet, you'll immediately feel like you're at home. Except of course, you're an anime girl running around like you just don't care. Now, another big feature that comes with this region is that it's fully co-op. That's right, you can just toggle the option to match with others, and other players will just start showing up. Keep in mind, I am on the test server, so at the time of writing this script, I haven't seen other people yet, but obviously on live version, you'll see a bunch of people running around and you can interact with them. So yeah, instead of just one player hub area that we had previously, now there's some sense of community that you can experience in this new region. Oh, and another interesting change. The bosses can be farmed now together in co-op as well. Same goes for most of the instances when doing commissions. So yeah, the game just became a lot more bigger, and now you don't have to run around by yourself. Personally, I really don't care about this. Usually, I prefer just a single player experience when I'm playing games, unless it's like a full-on MMO type of game. However, I can definitely see the appeal here. Other things I liked would be some new exploration mechanics, like this gadget, which was integral for clearing some missions. It sucks up things like you're running around with a little Kirby, and it's a decent enough thing you can use to break from monotony, since now some things like collectibles need to be specifically picked up with this gadget. Again, it just adds more variety to the game. But moving away from exploration, let's talk about some of the other new features, starting with Fushu, the latest character that's been added to the game. Now, if you're new to DNA, every character and every weapon in the game can be obtained for free, including Fushu. Sure, there's ways to buy them, like this new Interwoven Thoughts package, but honestly, you can just easily farm them up. It just takes a bit of time. Anyway, so Fushu is the new broken support, and the reason she's really good has to do with her skill, which provides some area damage, healing, and most important of all, it helps restore sanity to everyone inside its radius. Sanity is the source you need to spend to cast all the abilities in the game, so more sanity means more skills you can spam. You can summon 2 of these skills by default, but once you reach Intron level 2, now she can deploy 3 of these skills. And just a reminder, these Introns, which are constellations for my Genshin viewers, they can be also farmed for free. Works the same way as you would farm for character shards, which are called thoughts. But going back to the skill, initially it has a pretty small range, but with the Demon Wedge system, by slotting in some of the wedges that boost skill range, the area can be significantly bigger. And I'll talk about the new Demon Wedges in a moment, but for now, the other cool ability is Fushu's ultimate, which grants her ultra shield and attack speed increase. However, the whole team, including our co-op teammates, will gain the shield as well, and they will receive a massive skill damage boost based on Fushu's skill damage. Now, granted, on this test server, I mostly recorded her gameplay just as a DPS running around and exploring stuff, but any theory crafter can tell you that Fushu's capabilities as a support are insane. Still, besides Fushu, a new ranged weapon was added into the game called Cloud Veil Unfurl, and it's so satisfying to use. It initially can shoot out these 2 lasers sideways, but then it becomes this one powerful death ray that can melt enemies quickly. It's a fun weapon, what can I say? And as far as I'm aware, another new weapon and character will be added in the second half of the update starting from January 20th. Not only that, there's a bunch of new demon wedges, some of which are just straight up stat boosts, but one in particular that I really liked was Reaping Waltz, which can be equipped on dual blades, and it changes the attack animation when you hold down the attack button. Honestly, I think the devs devs should really focus on adding as many of these unique wedges as possible because, to me, the most fun part about the Demon Wedge system is all the wacky ways you can power up the skills or weapons. Like, I've been playing Path of Exile 2 for a long time now, and in that game, you can customize skills with support gems in so many different ways, and it makes the game feel really fresh with every new season. So I think by introducing consistently with every new patch a bunch of wedges that can alter the playstyle could be great for the game's longevity. Still, you might be wondering, how's the monetization in DNA after 1.1 update? Well, it's no secret that there was definitely a shortage of customization when the game launched, and since you can pretty much farm everything in the game, some players wanted to support the game by getting some new skins or custom effects. And let me tell you, there's definitely a lot of new stuff that's been added. Fushu, for example, has this winter bikini skin. It's available from the gacha. Yes, the game has gacha, but only for costumes. Otherwise, majority of custom effects or skins can be just bought or even farmed. But yeah, this skin looks amazing. And she can also be equipped with a water gun. And check this out. Her skill that's usually just a big ball is now a big rubber ducky. Very cute. Other than that, my personal favorite are these new effects that can be added to the Helix jump, and for now, this one with the surfboard is not available on my test server, but it can be obtained live, while this other stellar flight effect is pretty cool to look at. I mean, look, after I spammed thousands of Helix jumps, seeing new pretty colors pop up when I spam them for the next 1000 times will make me feel a little more excited. Same goes with the plunge attacks. They've also received some effects, plus a bunch of new cosmetics have been added here, as you can see right now. Best of all, for those who remember the Starry Hopes skin that you could apply to basically all units, well, the devs have also added another new universal skin called Verdant Serenity, which can be applied to, I believe, every unit including Fushu. Best of all, one of these boxes are free to claim when you log into the game, so you can apply this skin to any one character for free. I mean, at the end of the day, even the devs during the 1.1 livestream have admitted that they've received feedback from the community that their offered customizations weren't super diverse. Some of the things like the lightsaber looked good, but there was not enough variety. So they are working hard on that, and we can see some of the results right now. And as for my opinion when it comes to this update, I think Duet Night Abyss is heading in the right direction. There's definitely a lot of areas that they can still improve upon, and once more and more new features start rolling out, I think the game will be in a good place. I personally believe they've got an interesting story on their hands, and I hope they continue cultivating it. The plotline that I've experienced so far in Mistwharf was quite good, but I really hope they just keep building on the foundational blocks and maintain the stakes of the story. Oh, and I didn't really delve into this too much, but in terms of quality of life updates, they've introduced a bunch of new ones, such as a new shop for the chase commissions, which you can only do 3 times per week, but now from this shop, you can buy more of the highly sought after wedges when completing those chase missions. And while I didn't have the time to record this myself, some big optimizations were introduced to mobile devices, and hopefully that means the game will run smoother. Otherwise, yeah, I had a great time with this update, and during this Christmas period, if you're a new player or someone who quit the game, I think it's worth checking out Duet Night Abyss right now, and you can use my link in the description or pinned comment to download the game and help support my channel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video, and Merry Christmas everyone. Bye bye!